Hello, friends, and welcome back to Sesh Cast. My name is GLDLX. This is Sesh Cast, a cannabis podcast for cannabis sessions. And today, I am very unfortunately back on my side of the country, far away from the mystical land of Seattle Hempfest, and still dreaming that I was there, because I don't want to be here. I want to be there. But we'll get back to that here in a few minutes. I want to give you the way that this podcast starts, because that's how you do podcasts. You remember how your show works. So my name is GLDLX. This is a podcast I do where I just get high and talk about stuff, and then I get even more high and I turn on the microphone and I keep talking about that stuff. And it comes together in some sort of thing that I kind of hope people want to listen to. Also, today my cat is here because I am in the apartment that he lives as opposed to the apartment where I live, and he's being very, very needy. So if you hear the bell or meowing, that's because my very needy cat, who I've talked about in a few other episodes, is being so much needier than he's ever been before when I've needed to record. Typically when I come over here to record, he just sleeps on the other end of the couch or curls up on my lap and hangs out. But not today. No, today Oliver wanted to be involved in everything. So if you hear weird jingling noises or something else, and maybe the filter will cut it out, I'm not really sure. But if it doesn't, that's my cat. His name is Oliver. So today I am smoking on some of this Agent Orange, which I definitely didn't bring back with me from Seattle. It's great. So here's the deal. Agent Orange is one of my top 5, maybe top 3, actually definitely top 3. Agent Orange is one of my top 2 favorite strains of all time. It's my favorite sativa. And out here on the east, it just doesn't grow as tropical as it does out west. I've had a couple cuts of Agent Orange here on the east side of the Mississippi that have been absolute fire, have had phenomenal effects, smelled great, tasted great, looked great. But the very first time I ever had Agent Orange, it was a Western cut strain, and it was unreal. I mean, it tasted like orange Fanta. It was an amazing flavor. It was an amazing taste. All of it. It was great. And I fell in love with Agent Orange. And this Agent Orange I have from Equinox Gardens, and I don't remember where I bought this, but this Agent Orange has been absolute fire. So I definitely recommend it if you are in the market for an Agent Orange. According to this, it is Orange Velvet crossed with Jack the Ripper, which, sounds accurate enough to me. It's got 26.53% total THC. This is the same Agent Orange I believe I did during one of my Instagram live hauls while I was in Seattle. So that is what I'm smoking on today. Today I am using my Very Good Glass Galaxy Sherlock. Nah, that's not for chewing. Not for chewing. There we go. Go away. That is my Galaxy spoon or Galaxy Sherlock that I bought for somebody else. From Very Good Glass on Instagram. You can check that out a couple posts ago. It's a really pretty picture. I really like this pipe. It's very small, it's very cute, and it was just very much what I'm feeling today. I bought a bunch of new stuff at Hempfest. I'm super excited to use all of it. New dabber, 3 new pipes. Very excited to get all of that stuff on the show. But today being just the recap episode, I didn't really want to worry about doing anything new today, because I'll be adding all of that stuff to the Instagram here over the next couple weeks, and I wanted to make sure each of the pipes that I got had its own episode and its own little feature that I could talk about it a little more. Did he steal my lighter? Did that really happen? I think my cat stole my lighter. Nope, there it is. Okay. All right, I was panicked there for a minute. I was like, I've got weed, it's in a bowl, and I don't have a lighter, and that's the worst. I'm going to be lighting Doritos on fire on my stove like I used to do in college, which is not ideal. It works, but it's not ideal, and I don't really recommend it for your own personal use. So I'm going to go ahead and take a hit out of this, and I'll jump back in with the episode. If you are new to this show, if you've never listened to this show before, first off, let me say thank you for swinging by and checking it out. I really appreciate it. especially if you are somebody who I met at Hempfest. I had a bunch of those little cards. I was handing them out to everybody who would give me the time of day, and a lot of people were super receptive to hearing about a new cannabis podcast in the industry. So thank you to everybody who I met at Hempfest and who took a card from me. And if this is you joining into this podcast for the first time, thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. If you're back for the 34th time, if my count is correct, or however many times, thank you so much for being here as well. I hope that you got some weed in your hand, and I hope that you're about to smoke it. I hope your day is going well, and I hope it continues to do so. I'm going to smoke weed now. Cheers. Tell you what, man, the taste of a good Agent Orange, you cannot replicate this with any other strain that I've ever found. Agent Orange, now I say that as someone who has not had Orange Velvet, which this is apparently a cross of, and I assume where it gets the flavor. The flavor of Agent Orange is just so infectious. It's very citric. It's very back of the roof of your mouth, kind of sharp, but long lasting. It really gets onto your tongue, and there's definitely that orange influence, but there's also a very piney, sort of that pine sol taste to it as well. So it's got this really good outdoor evergreen orange flavor. I think it's a great strain for all time of year because I really, really like orange and citrus flavored things. But I think most people would say this is a baller summer strain, and I would be inclined to agree with them on that. So, Seattle Hempfest is where I have been for the last 4 or 5 days. TBH, I kind of lost count. But I had an absolute blast being in Seattle, literally the opposite side of the country from where I live and from where I spend all of my time. And so I had a lot of time to meet some new people, to shake some new hands, but also just to get out and enjoy Seattle Hempfest. It was the first time I'd ever been. It was my first major cannabis event. I've been to other cannabis events before, but this was the first one that's like a nationally recognized large scale. It was my first of any of the Hempfests. I've yet to be able to make it down to Boston Freedom Rally, unfortunately, as well. So this was my first major cannabis event. And I had a great time just being at the festival and enjoying it. I really, really love festivals of all sorts, whether it's street fairs or arts festivals or specifically music festivals. Being in the radio industry, that means a lot to me as well. And just that vibe, I really, really love it. So I had a blast this weekend. I had such a good time. And I've been talking about this on the show now for like what feels like forever. And so I wanted to go through sort of my experience and talk a little bit about what I encountered in Seattle and some of the folks that I met and talked with, as well as just a bunch of the stickers and products and stuff that I did come away with. Because I think that there are a lot of people out there who would love to go to an event like Seattle Hempfest, and maybe you're one of those people and maybe you've never been able to, or you don't know what it's like to go to a street festival or a park festival and just be able to visit vendor after vendor after vendor after vendor and hear about these products and see these things that you've never heard of before, that you've seen online but are now seeing in person for the first time, and just sort of the different things that you experience. And I think there are enough people out there who have never been to one of these events that it might be cool just to hear about some of the people that I met. So this is not paid sponsorship. This is not advertisement. This is none of those things. I am always someone who is not shy about endorsing products that I believe in. And so some of these things, as I'm looking down in my pile of stuff that I literally just threw on the floor because I didn't really know what else to do with it. As I'm looking down on my pile of stuff, there are definitely some of these companies and some of these products that I would put my name behind for sure and say, you should absolutely get this. And I think that I'll probably do that as I'm piling through all of these. That being said, nobody paid me. This is not an advertisement. This is not a sponsored episode. This is none of those things. This is just my experience at Seattle Hempfest, which will also definitely include some product information and things of the sort. So I'm going to jump into this. I want to take one more hit before I do, mostly because that Agent Orange is straight fire, and I can't keep it out of my mouth. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this, and I will talk, I think, first about some of the people that I bumped into this weekend. Cheers, friends. So, I met a lot of people at Seattle Hempfest, period. Next sentence. A lot of those people were people who I have been waiting to meet for a while, and have really wanted to meet in person. I want to talk about some of those now. One of those people, of course, was Steve, my buddy Steve from the Baked and Awake show. He and I have talked about this forever, how we're both going to be in the same city. He has been riding this podcast since literally day one. I mean, he and I connected over my first episode, he being another cannabis podcaster, and we just really hit it off and became pretty decent podcast friends. Another member of the Podcast Builders League that I talk about all the time. So he and I spent basically 2 full days of Hempfest together. Finally got to meet his family, his beautiful wife, his beautiful kids. Had a really great time just hanging out with them and sort of being part of the family. We've really, really loved it, and we've talked forever, Steve and I have, about how we were going to sit down and record, and I think we had like 4 or 5 plans to sit down and record this weekend at different times, and none of them ended up happening, which is hilarious. However, we are definitely going to get together and do some sort of phoner recording together. And we've got a little bit of an episode idea. We haven't smoothed everything out yet, but I'm really, really excited to talk to Steve about his experience from Hempfest and just Hempfest as a whole, as well as just the state of the cannabis industry. I think it's going to be a really great conversation. So hopefully that will be coming up very, very soon. Very excited for that. Other folks that I bumped into, to pass off a little bit more quickly, Jolie Oli, Custom Grow 420, bumped into him. Super busy guy. I mean, super popular weed tuber. So he had a lot of people following him around all weekend. We chatted very briefly, and he said he'd be interested in coming on the podcast sometime. Whether or not that'll ever work out, who knows? Josh Young from Strain Central. Super, super happy I finally got to meet him in person. He has been someone who has been very influential to me in my journey into the cannabis industry, and is a cannabis entertainer and public figure who I really look up to and really admire in his activism. And so I bumped into him on Friday, just enough to exchange some quick words and a quick follow on Instagram. Unfortunately, we weren't able to meet back up throughout the weekend. Hopefully that's still coming, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Other folks that I met this weekend, the whole WeedTube crew. So Joya, Mac Dizzle, Arend, and Tim from Stoned Alone. They were awesome. Got to hang out with all of them. Got to smoke with with all 4 of those guys on both Saturday and Sunday, which was super, super great. Spent 420 with those folks. They're amazing people. I have done episodes about the WeedTube.com before. I've talked about the WeedTube a lot. I have a WeedTube channel that was supposed to get content on it this weekend. That didn't happen, but oh well, my priorities were elsewhere. They're just good people, and they're doing a really good thing for this community. And it was really awesome to chat with them about that for a little while. So Mac, Tim, Arend, and Joya, thank you guys so much for hanging out. It was great to see all you guys. It was great to meet all you guys in person. And I hope that we can get on the podcast again together sometime very, very soon. I met a lot of other people too. I think that most of those people are included in this pile of stuff that I have on my floor, because that's literally what it is. Between my legs, I have a pile of stickers and coupon codes and bags and receipts and products and things with just a bunch of different names on it from people that I met at Seattle Hempfest, and we're all really cool people, and I want to talk about all of them, but I'm going to need to go through product by product to make sure I hit everybody. So I'm going to hop in on that one here in just a second. The next thing I want to talk about is the glass that I bought. That picture will be in the Instagram somewhere, because this week is totally just going to be a picture dump. Some stuff from Hempfest, this pile of crap on my floor probably, the pipes that I bought, whatever else I can find to throw in a picture dump. yeah. So, the pipes that I got this weekend, I got 3 of them. I got a. Excuse me, I ate Taco Bell before I recorded this, and I'm feeling it now. Um, let's see. I got a new pipe from glowpipes.com, and I actually met the blower for these pipes, and I'm not going to remember his name, which is terrible of me, but he also was not very keen on, like, I am the guy behind Glow Pipes. It was literally just like, this is my company, this is the glass that I make. So, glowpipes.com, who I will tag on the Instagram, and again, we'll do an episode for, got this killer little light blue swirly thing. He said it was sort of a limited run design for Hempfest, and I thought they were really, really cool. You know, some of these mass-produced pipe companies, people shy away from them, especially other glass collectors. I know there are some people who want to have completely one-of-a-kind pieces, know the exact person that it came from, know that it was blown in somebody's garage or in somebody's studio, but really at the end of the day, like, I like collecting glass for the sake of having different glass. So if I see something that is different and cool to me, I'm 100% going to pick that up, even if maybe there are other pipes in the world that are like that pipe or similar to that pipe, or that bong or that rig or that whatever. I still think it's really cool to collect those pieces because someday they may not be. And things don't stay common forever. Things gain rarity over time. And the point of a collection is to have things that you like, not to have things that other people will like, at least in my personal opinion. So I got this cool new blowpipe. I got this cool new pipe from glowpipes.com. Again, that'll be linked in the show notes for sure. Check out the show notes of this episode for like a bunch of this stuff. I'm going to link as much of it as I can. And on the Instagram too. So I got that. I got the next piece of glass I have a sticker for this guy down here somewhere. Where you at, B-Rad? My boy. I'm going to try and pull a sticker out while I'm talking about this. But I bought this cool new spoon from Rad Glass, or Rad Brad Glass. That is his Instagram. It's just Rad Brad Glass. If you type in Rad Brad, he's one of the first things that comes up. I bought one of his pipes. It's this cool green, like, textured deal. It's interesting. It's very, very different. It's not smooth glass, but it's cool, and I like it. So that was cool, and he had like some little mini rigs and some that chugged really hard. Beautiful stuff, but because I was flying a very large distance with a lot of long flights and a lot of layovers and a lot of bag transition, I didn't want to buy a bong. I just wanted to buy pipes that I could put in a little case. So I got one of his nifty little textured pipes, and I like it very much. He also makes the 710 funnel, a thing that I do not personally have a huge need for because I don't have any crazy oil rigs. I don't have any crazy bongs either, but like all of my stuff has a pretty run-of-the-mill normal perk. I don't have any like recyclers or incyclers or multi-level perk or anything like that. I'm pretty straightforward. Shower head, maybe a puck perk here and there. So I didn't grab one of the 710 funnels, but they are very, very cool. If you find yourself filling your oil rig from the downstem and it's consistently a problem because you spill water everywhere, 710 funnel, would recommend checking it out. So I got that pipe, and then my third pipe that I got was this like cool, I mean, it was an impulse buy. It was like a walking through the park kind of deal, but I'm super glad I got it, and it probably isn't going to get its full light of day showing until, I'm going to say, Halloween-ish. You'll see in the picture. It is this new little eyeball pipe from Peacock Design. It's real interesting. It's like a plastic eyeball that somebody took a metal pipe and shoved it through, and that's like literally what happened. But Natalie Thomas is the woman behind Peacock Design LLC. You can find her at peacockdesignllc.com. Again, linked in the show description or in the show notes. She just makes pipes out of things. Like, that's the only way that I can describe it. She finds toys and vintage things and like lamps and action figures and just turns them into pipes, which is cool and crafty and creative, and I love it. Am I going to use this little eyeball much? No. Is it going to be a total pain to clean? Hell yeah. But it's cool, and I have one now. So her name was Natalie Thomas, and I will for certain talk more about her closer to Halloween. Again, Peacock Design LLC.com, linked in the show notes. She doesn't have an Instagram yet, but she said she's working on getting it up and running. So I will tag that as soon as it becomes available. Those are the pieces I bought. Have I hit this weed recently? Have I smoked this? I need to smoke this. Let me smoke some weed, because I don't remember the last time that happened. Agent Orange is great for it. Like, this is one of the most uppity strains that I have ever found. It's great. It just makes me feel so good, and I really, really like it. So I hope you're smoking something that you really, really like and that makes you feel good, because that is what we all deserve. Cheers, friends. All right. So I think I'm just going to start grabbing things off the floor and picking them up and saying, oh yeah, this is a thing. I did this. I talked to these people. And then I'm going to pick up the next thing. And we're going to see how long that takes. I hope that this is interesting for you. If it's not, feel free to check out a different episode. Also, I don't know that I've pimped myself out in this episode, so let me do that real quick. I've been talking about my Instagram. My Instagram is at Sesh Cast. You can find that pretty much anywhere. Just at Sesh Cast, and you will find me, probably. I know that my Instagram was kind of wild during Seattle Hempfest, and then goes kind of dark sometimes, and then comes back. I'm working really, really hard and being more active on my Instagram. It's a work in progress. This weekend was great. I did a live stream almost every night and had a lot of fun with that. I was posting to my story pretty much every day. Really, really enjoyed that. I'm not sure that I ever let my story run out, which I really like doing. It's just hard living a real life and having a full-time job and, well, having two part-time jobs, both of which are verging on full-time, and trying to run my own Instagram and other Instagrams and then the Instagram for the show. So I'm sorry that the Instagram on Sesh Cast was like super sporadic this weekend and then went blank on like Monday, but it's sort of the way the cookie crumbles. I'm working on it. However, if you're looking to keep up with me at Sesh Cast, you're guaranteed at least one post a week. Typically a live stream as well, but at least one post. And maybe some story shenanigans. And I'll probably like all your stuff. So, let's see. Where do I start? I'm going to reach down. I'm not going to look. And I'm going to pull up this card. What is this? This is Dave Ryan Pop Art. He was an artist that I saw. He had cool art. That's all I got for that one. Next card. And this one. There's B-Rad's card. Where was that when I was looking at him? Yeah, so his Instagram for that, the spackle-looking textured pipe that I have now, that I was just talking about, Rad Brad Glass. Also, I talked to a bunch of glass artists. If we're being completely honest, maybe I should talk about that for a second. I talked to a lot of glass artists this weekend, and I had a lot of fun doing that, and I wish that I could have bought a piece from every single one of them, but I couldn't, and I was flying, and it just, hard. Not everybody was down to ship. Some people were, some people weren't. It was hard to keep track of. I came home with 3 pipes, which is 2 more than I was planning on, and I'm happy about that. I wish I could have bought something from all of these folks. So if I find another glass artist, which I'm seeing some, and I'm going to try and pull out a couple of them. There's another one. Yeah, I'm going to go through some quick hits with these guys, because I can't guarantee you that you will love their glass. I'm probably not going to be able to remember what all of their glass looks like to say like, oh, they had killer glass. You should 100% check them out. But as I'm kind of pulling through here, I want to say the names of these people because they were out there really just pimping hard for their art. And that's really important. One of the things that I noticed at Seattle Hempfest that, as someone who had never been to Hempfest before, was very surprising, but as I thought back of it, probably shouldn't have been, was just the mass amount of cheap China glass that was on tables and was either being sold for way too much of a markup, like way too much, like just almost painful to see people paying $30, $40, $50 for glass that probably cost $2 wholesale. So that was a bummer, but also glass that was sold so cheap that it was hard to walk away from. And so I tried to talk to every glass artist that I could, and every single artist that I found there who was actually out there pimping their own glass, saying, I blow this at my house, I blow this in my garage, I blow this at the studio, and I'm here to sell my work or the work of me and the other guys that I blow with, or my wife, or any of that. Like, I tried really hard to meet all those people and shake the hands of all those people, and while I would have loved to support them monetarily and just to have their artwork, it just wasn't possible. So I'm going to hit you with a couple of artists that I have stuff from, but don't have anything in hand from. And you can check them out if you have the time. I will absolutely link all of them as well. So Speed of Light Glass, that's Brian M. Smith. You can find him at speedoflightglass.com. I have Richard and Katy's Glassworks. Their Instagram is Richard_and_Katy's KATYS_Glassworks. It looks like if you searched RK Glass in all caps, they might come up. That's what that card tells me. Also spoke with Glass Kraken. His tagline is glass art from a functional focus. Find him on Instagram, Glass Kraken. That's Kraken. He has really cool cards. They're kind of hard to read, but I really like the color scheme. I also have this dope sticker from Joe Nuts Glass. That's nuts with 2T. It's just a sticker. It's this cool little eyeball situation. No Instagram or anything, but I did find him. I typed in Joe Nuts, and Joe Nuts Dabs came up. And then if you follow that, you can also find Joe Nuts Glass, which is his glass blowing account. So I don't remember the exact account. I want to say it's Joe Nuts Glass. I sorry if I'm wrong. And then the last people that I talked to, at least that I've found in the pile so far, I might find another one here later, was Noble Glass, Noble glassgallery.com, nobleglassgallery.com. They struck me as sort of a wholesale deal, or like a, we buy this stuff and then ship it in. But then I was talking to the guys and they were explaining to me that they actually make the glass, and that Noble is sort of a parent organization that sells their glass. So I wish I knew the names of all the guys that I talked to, but their bongs were the prettiest bongs I saw this weekend. And that's saying something, because I saw some gorgeous stuff, but they knocked it out of the park for the most, in my opinion, aesthetically pleasing bongs, like flower shapes and, really just beautiful detail. We talked to them a little bit. They use soft glass as opposed to hard glass. It gave it this like sea glass look, but everything about them felt beautiful and gorgeous and delicate and a little fragile, and not something that I would ever want to fly back for 9 hours. So I did not come away with a Noble Glass piece, but you can follow them at Noble Glass. And last but not least, not a glass artist, but darn close to it, my girl Doreen. She is the creator of My Bud Vase, who you can find on Instagram at My Bud Vase. And gosh, these are cool, man. Doreen is a beautiful woman. She's just the nicest of ladies. Old enough to be my mom, but I wouldn't tell her that. She's just super nice. And we did end up coming home with one of her Bud Vases, and we're super happy about it. It's a vintage vase that she has literally turned into a bong. So she turns vases into bongs. She also designs her own vases to be bongs, and they're completely functional as both. Ours did come with a downstem and a bowl. Super pretty, super beautiful. She is just the nicest lady, and we really enjoyed doing business with her. So check out My Bud Vase, the woman behind it all. Her name is Doreen Sullivan. She's a great lady, and I'm super happy that I met her. And that, I think, is all of the glass from Hempfest. I'm like now part of the way through my pile. I'm making progress here. So I hope, again, that this is interesting to some folks, because I think, just going to keep going with this sort of quick hit situation, pulling things up and dumping things out. I do need to, like, pull some of this stuff out because I put it away a little bit preemptively. So let's get that out. Sorry, this is the logistics of doing a podcast. It's kind of hard to pay attention to all the things sometimes, and I am not doing a good job of it because I'm high and I'm tired. All right, I think I got all the stuff out. So, let's move on here. Other things that I bumped into, or other people that I met while I was in Seattle. One of those people were Lyft, and I have to give them a little bit of a shout out because Lyft was giving free rides to and from Hempfest. You could get 2 free rides, $10 off 2 rides to and from Hempfest, which in the city of Seattle, realistically, is pretty much a free ride. I think ours ended up costing $1 to get us the whole way out to Capitol Hill. But it was just cool to see a company openly supporting a cannabis event, because that's such an interesting PR move in 2018, whether you do, whether you don't. So this was set up through the Seattle Department of Transportation and Vision Zero and Lyft. They helped us out a lot this weekend, so thanks to Lyft. Also, that being said, one of the food delivery companies was out there too. HelloFresh. HelloFresh was on the scene, pimping out their food delivery service, which I thought was funny. But good for them. Again, companies who will openly stand out at a cannabis event, good on you. I'm happy for you. I think you're doing a good thing. I have this cool sticker from Sutra Vape. I don't remember talking to Sutra Vape. Cool sticker, though. Let's see here. It's Hope Not Dope from my friends at 420 Expressions. This was a fun little sticker. They're kind of cool. They make fake nug necklaces and zipper pulls and earrings. If you ever wanted to wear, like, realistic looking fake weed, 420 Expressions are the people you should talk to. 420expressions.com, and it is the numbers 420. But they have a cool mission, and their cool mission is to make medical cannabis more accessible to the people who need it, which is why they have these It's Hope Not Dope stickers with the little cannabis leaf with the American Red Cross looking sign on it. So yeah, they were cool. Like talking to them. Canna Hemp was there. I have one of their CBD cartridges right now that I actually bought before I left for Seattle and didn't even take with me, I don't think. Or if I brought it, I definitely didn't smoke it while I was out there. But they're good people. They have really good products. If you are on the hunt for prepackaged CBD cartridges, that's the only thing of theirs that I tried, or that I have tried, so that's the only thing I'll really throw my endorsement behind. But Canna Hemp, you can find them on Instagram or online at Canna Hemp. Next was the Dig and Dab. This was kind of cool. I liked this. I'm going to take another hit because it's been a little while, and then I'll go back to telling you about Hempfesty things. So let me hit this now, take a breath, change the episode if you're tired of hearing about Hempfest things, but if you're not, hunker down, grab a pen, get ready to write and take notes, because I do have more, and I'm excited about it. Cheers. Okay. Excuse me. Oh boy. Alright, back into it. Come on, man. Pull it together. I have a lot of things to talk about. Not a lot of time to do it. Next thing on my list here is the Dig and Dab. These were really cool and I really liked them. And honestly, I probably would have bought one, but I forgot to walk back by their booth. So, Cody Markham and Jane Markham, I'm sorry. You might be getting an email from me to order one of these little guys. They are the ultimate cool pipe tool, as their card says. And they are, like anything that you attach to your Bic lighter and scrape out a bowl with, whether it's a toker poker, whether it's, is it an Asher? I don't remember what that other thing is called. They were everywhere this weekend too, and I don't even know if I talked to them. But any of those things that clip onto the side of a Bic lighter and have a little stick at the end of them to dig things out. The Dig and Dab is cool because the Dig and Dab is made out of recycled silver utensils, forks, spoons, knives, things of this sort. And they're really cool, and they're really sturdy because most of the time they're silver or stainless steel. So they're not going to bend and warp. They are a little bit heavy, I would definitely say that. But I was really shocked. They clipped onto my lighter very, very well. For being literally just a bent fork, I've fallen away from my microphone because I'm sinking into the couch, so let me scoot forward. I did not expect a bent fork to slide on and stay on my lighter as well as these guys did. So definitely a good idea, cool idea, good product. Can you get one cheaper? Like a Bic tool cheaper? Yeah, absolutely. Can you get one that maybe has more functionality? Sure, I guess. But if you're looking for sort of an artsy thing to put on your Bic lighter, I like these. And I think that they're cool, and they're definitely fun looking and super unique. And again, it's an artist out there pimping what they do and really putting in the grind to get what they're doing across in a way that I think is beneficial. So you can look for them on Etsy. You can also email them at diganddab@gmail.com. That's dig, D-I-G-N, the letter N, dab, D-A-B, @gmail.com. Hello, Oliver. I'm sorry. Was I talking too much without you here? Well, I'm glad you're back now. Come on in. I also picked up some of these curved rolling papers. They're nifty. They are, I think, just called curved papers. Yeah, curvedpapers.com. They are really cool. I came away with a lot of paper from this event. Like, just a stupid amount of paper. More paper than I will ever roll. But the curved papers are cool because they are, as you might guess, curved. So the glue end is flat, and then your tuck end is this really nice, shallow, gentle curve across the opposite end, designed, and the way the guy explained it to me, to fix the problem of the tuck, because he said the hardest thing about rolling a joint is that the corners never tuck. Now you don't have corners. And I was like, that's logical and makes sense. And I actually know, because I learned how to roll joints the way most of my friends in college learned how to roll joints, which was by watching Seth Rogen's How to Roll a Joint video. He tears the corners off of his non-glue end of his papers. This does that same thing. So curvedpapers.com. I put my name behind them, I suppose. Haven't tried to roll with one yet, but I think they're cool. Also got a bunch of packs of these Cashmere Tubes. These are sweet. They are like cigarette tubes. They're exactly like cigarette tubes. The ones I have are organic hemp, but they did have cigarette paper ones. And they're just cigarette tubes with this cool little filter on the end, but the filter is biodegradable, which is awesome. So you've got this nice little wide filter already in there, mostly just to stop your scoobs and such like that. Not necessarily going to filter out the smoke or anything, but has a nice open tube to it that is biodegradable, so you can just throw it away. You don't need to worry about, like, a cigarette butt will be on Earth for the next 100 years or whatever. I like them. I came away with a bunch of packs of these. I saw a lot of people using these. I saw a lot of specifically growers in Washington selling pre-rolls in this style of tube. So I did not know that these have not made it out east. This might just be a West Coast thing. This might just be a Pacific Northwest thing. I'm not sure, but I like them a lot. So that was the Cashmere Tube. Do they have a website on here? onnaturalpapers.com. AUNATURALLE papers.com. Again, linked in the show notes. The end of the papers that I have in front of me is just a random pack of Futurolas. I did come home with a new Futurola toy. I'm going to reach over and grab it so I can look at it while I talk to you about it. It's this rolling machine. I think that's what it is. It's definitely a rolling machine. But it's not your standard rolling machine. It's not your typical, like, little aluminum. If you've never seen a rolling machine, let me try to describe it to you. I'm not going to do well, but I'm going to try. You got a little aluminum rectangle. And on that aluminum rectangle are two vertical brackets. And on the vertical brackets live two cylindrical tubes. One tube stays where it is at all times, and it's the higher of the two tubes. One tube can sort of flop down to be filled, and then it flops back up so that it sits right next to the tube that doesn't move. On those two tubes is a piece of like plastic, I guess, that is one solid piece, so that when you flop down your tube, stuff weed in there, flop your tube back up, and roll those two tubes in the same direction, it rolls the plastic around the tubes, making a very nice joint shape with your weed. So then when you put a piece of paper in there and roll those tubes in the same direction, it rolls the paper around your weed for you and takes care of rolling your joint. Futurola's rolling machine is this sort of handheld 2018 amalgamation of that concept. I think honestly, these have been around for a while and I've just never seen them. But it's this sort of plastic wallet taco that you pop open, you load all your bud into, you close it up, and then you spin these two like thumb finger spinner things. You can probably hear me doing it in the background. In opposite directions, it does the same thing as the other joint roller, except the one I bought rolls king-sized cones. I've never seen a rolling machine that actually rolls cones. I didn't even know that was possible. I literally thought rolling machines just rolled tubes or bats. So I was pretty excited to figure out that this rolls cones. Futurola took really good care of us this weekend. Interestingly enough, we also came home with one of their grinders, just a little plastic 2-piece guy. We needed one real bad because I was not going to fly with my Lyft Innovations grinder. That thing is way too nice to lose in security. And it's effectively a weapon. That thing's like a brick. So we just needed a crappy plastic grinder to get us through the week. And we at first bought a crappy metal grinder, which did not even get us through an hour. And so we bought this guy at Hempfest, and he did pretty well for us. So Futurola, thanks for taking good care of us this weekend. We appreciate it. You really got us through. It would have been rough going in Seattle without a new grinder. And then we use this rolling machine like crazy because it's so easy to use. Like, I've been using the old school rolling machines for like 2 years, and I'm just now getting good at doing it. I picked up this Futurola roller, and with watching somebody else do it twice, I did it perfectly the first time. It's amazing. I'm going to hit this weed now because I haven't in a while. Cheers. So, sort of for the first time ever in Sesh Cast, I'm kind of running out of time to record, but I am going to power through this episode. So this one's going to go a little bit long. I'm sorry. Not really, but a little bit. So, other things from Seattle, other things from Hempfest, other people that I talked to. I spoke with Marigo. This was a cool company, a cool concept. They have not launched yet, and they're not local in my area, unfortunately. But they're called Marigo, Marigo. Strains without the strains. You can find them at marigo.com, and their Instagram handle, I didn't know this, but their Instagram handle is marigo.com. MARIGODOTCOM. That's kind of funny. So they literally are sort of like a special ordering company for weed. They're the middleman, effectively. I'm trying to think of a good not cannabis company to relate this to, because I'm sure they're out there, but I'm high, and this is all I can think about. So basically, say you realize that such and such farm grows your favorite strain. Let's use mine. Let's say that you find out such and such farm grows Death Star, and it's the best Death Star. It's the only Death Star you ever want. Your local shop doesn't carry that farm's Death Star. So with Marigo, you can order from the farm, and Marigo will deliver that weed to your local dispensary, so you can go to the dispensary and pick it up. It's pretty cool. Honestly, I like it a lot. It's a good concept. We talked to them for a while. I think they've got a really good thing going here. I'm not 100% sure they're going to be able to pull it off. I feel like law is going to get in their way. long before they ever really blow up. But if they can hold on through federal legalization, I think that Marigo is going to be kind of a household name among the, I would say, higher tier of cannabis smokers. And when I say higher tier, I don't mean smoking great weed. I don't mean being super rich. I mean people who like to define themselves as the upper tier of a community will use Marigo a lot, and the rest of us will think it's a really cool thing, and we will use it every once in a while when we're really having a hankering or have money to spend. And who else did I bump into? Oh goodness, I don't know why this is in this pile. I talked to a dude about the Urantia book. That was a trip. I was not high enough. Some people may find a lot of truth in that. Personally, I'm not one of them. Do your own research. Talked to the guys from Canna Binder. This was great. Let me talk about this for a minute. I talked to Tom specifically from Canna Binder. He's the CEO and co-founder of that company who is doing an amazing thing. Canna Binder is really, really cool. You can find them all over the place. Just do the researching. They are a company that is similar to the beer app. I think it's called On Tap or something like that, where you can track the beers you've drank and keep your ratings of those beers, your comments on those beers, where you drank them, when you drank them. You can keep track of all that stuff with an app. Well, Canna Binder is that for weed. But the coolest thing about Canna Binder is that it doesn't work off of strain names necessarily. What it works off of is terpene profiles. So jumping back, I was talking about Josh from Strain Central. He was literally just ranting on Instagram about this today. You can buy Agent Orange from one farm. You can buy Agent Orange from another farm. And you can buy Agent Orange from a third farm. And all three of those will look completely different. There's just not a lot of consistency on what we're calling what. Anybody can call their strain what they want to. That's the issue. It's getting muddied up. Canna Binder is here to solve that problem. So Canna Binder is going to be able to scan your products if you have certain or products labeled in certain ways. It's going to be able to track your consumption, and it's going to track your consumption of strains by their terpene profiles. So you can say, all right, I really like this Equinox Agent Orange. Show me other strains like it. And it might show you Freddy's Fire Agent Orange, or it might show you Blue Roots Agent Orange, or it might also show you, Blue Roots Yard Cleaner, or Blue Roots Pine Sol, another strain that has the same terpene profile as the strain you're hunting for, even if it's not the same strain name or from the same grower, which I thought was really, really cool and super awesome. And Tom was someone who was really interested in coming on the podcast at some point. I would really love to talk to him more, and I hope that I get the chance to. So I would definitely recommend checking out Canna Binder. Big ups for me on that one. Spoke with the folks at Sativa Valley Essentials. They were great people. THC and CBD extracts. They made a really great sunscreen that didn't make me break out, and I have really terrible skin allergies. And they had everything: bath bombs, sunscreens, lotion, deodorant, you name it, they make it. So sativavalleyess.com if you're looking for more on that. Oh goodness, I'm actually running out of things. I'm doing well here. I said that I talked to the folks from the Weed Tube. I have a Weed Tube sticker in this pile. There's that. I got food at this food truck called Poutine Your Mouth, which is a funny name, and it's funny to say, Poutine Your Mouth. They make poutine. Super good, like it a lot. Would recommend if you find their food truck. I have a Baked and Awake sticker in here. I talked about Steve a little bit already. We are going to come back and do an episode together at some point, hopefully very, very soon. Fingers crossed in the next couple of weeks. There's another thing for Canna Binder. Alright, so the last few things I have here are things that I really wanted to spend a little bit of time on, which is funny that I saved them for the end. because I'm running out of time. But I talked to the guys from unlocktheTruth.com. They created the Canna Lock. It is a locking container for your weed. It's full metal. It's smell proof. I want to say that it's waterproof too. I don't totally remember. I believe that it's waterproof, airtight. It locks, and it locks the same way that like a medicine bottle locks. It's a push twist, and it's super high quality, super heavy metal. The coolest thing about these guys is that they are passionate about ending the war on cannabis and like solving all of the problems created by the war on drugs, releasing people from prison, expunging records, making sure that the cannabis industry is not profiting on the same street corners of the people that it once arrested without doing them their due diligence and helping them. And it's great. They're incredible guys, a really great mission. Unlockthetruth.com. Lock is spelled L-O-Q. So it's unlockthetruth.com. UNLOQTHETRUTH.com. At Cannaluk, CANNILUK. I'll post all of this stuff in the show notes. Check them out. Good folks, for certain. I also had a guy try and sell me his CD, the Bohemian Rap CD, by I think Zabadaba. I think it's Zabadaba. He was gonna sell me a CD, and I was like, dude, I don't have any money to give you, and so he took his CD back. But check him out if you want. SoundCloud.com/ZACH-KRONLAND. That's more love than I ever thought I'd give a SoundCloud rapper. One of my favorite people that I met in Seattle is Henry. Henry is an artist. He has been called Seattle's most profound and prolific muralist. He does just amazing work. He's super cool. You can check him out on Instagram at Henry_beyond_museums. I got a sticker from him. I shook his hand. He was painting. I didn't want to bother him, but I did enjoy watching him paint for a little while. Super cool guy. Yeah, he sold me this sticker of this little purple bird with a coffee mug and a sign that says "Fuck fascism." And that is pretty much everything that I did at Hempfest. Some other quick things to note of my trip to Seattle. Swung over to KEXP, being a radio guy. KEXP is one of the coolest radio stations on the face of the planet, and they're doing radio the way it should be done. So I wanted to stop in there and show a little bit of love. Went to the Mopop, went to a lot of the record stores around town, got a bunch of Sub Pop merch. Never trust a label over 30. Went into this cute little store called Robot vs. Sloth. They make fun designs. Find them at Robot v Sloth on Instagram and stuff. That is cute. I liked them. Got ice cream at Molly Moo's because people told me I needed to. Spent a decent amount of time climbing at the Seattle Bouldering Project. If you're a climber and if you are in Seattle, that's where you need to go. It's dope. And I went to the Chihuly Glass Garden. Glass Garden. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but I went there. It was pretty. I was on the Space Needle too. I bought a mini nail Space Needle dabber. Yeah, I bought a Space Needle dabber from Mini Nail. I like it. It's cool. I needed a souvenir, and that was it. And I think that's it. I think that concludes my long-winded explanation of my time at Hempfest. That was fun for me. I hope that it was fun for you too. And if it's not, that's okay. Check out another episode if you didn't like this one, or don't. It's no skin off my back. I am enjoying what I'm doing, and Seattle Hempfest this weekend was a great experience for me because it really reignited my passion for the cannabis industry and for cannabis activism, and to do all the things that I can to not only make cannabis legal at the federal level, but to fight for the rights of those who have been wrongly prosecuted in the war on drugs, and just to create a positive influence and a positive impact on the world, and specifically in the cannabis space. And Seattle Hempfest was a great reignition of my internal fire to do all of these things, and I had a really great time. So to everybody I met, to everyone who may have listened through their first episode of Sesh Cast on their way home from Seattle Hempfest, thanks. I appreciate it. I really, really do. It was great to meet everybody. Thank you for taking one of my cards. Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was a great time. Check me out on Instagram. I'm at SeshCast. Check out the notes of this episode because it's going to have links to all this crap. And I hope that you can find something in this pile of stuff that you like as much as I liked it. That's what I got. I'm going to hit this one more time and go because I got a bunch of other stuff I'm supposed to do tonight. Oops. Cheers, friends. Happy Hempfest. As to Hempfest, we'll see you next year. As to me, I will see you next week. My name is Goldilocks. This has been Sesh Cast. Thank you so much for listening.